All right, two quick things. This is just funny. This print completed successfully. It was like this. Oh wow, look at it rocking. So these are just outriggers to supports to keep it from falling over, and it was printing like this. And I watched it. You know, I had it on in the background on my screen for an hour. It was a 3 hour print, and as soon as I finished, it fell over. Go figure. So the other thing is, so I just leveled the bed, and so here I was having a bunch of failures. I had a big failure, and so this I think was actually like this way, maybe upside down, but basically this thing was so out of level because I had a failure in a kind of a tall part and it failed, and it put the bed off level. So I manually, so I was curious. I could see that it was crooked, and I wanted to see how it would print. And it was funny. These lines were just like a 1/4 inch off the bed, and it was just laying them down. And then over here it was okay. And that was even after recalibrating. It was so out of level that it couldn't even successfully print. And when I went to the IP address, as you can do if you're connected to the network, the slope of the bed was ridiculous. It was off the chart, legitimately. But so I manually re-leveled it, and it came out like this. Let's get rid of this guy. I manually leveled it, and it came out like this. Now this, I think it was just a fluke. There was probably some material on the nozzle or something. But this was a 2-layer thick, 0.4 millimeter thick square that I printed just to do this test after, and it basically came out perfect. I thought I was gonna have to shim the corners maybe a little bit, as because I had to in the past, so I was surprised that it didn't. Like I say, I think that was just a fluke. Now if you're curious what I mean by manually leveled it, I do have a video of me doing that like a year or so ago, and I mostly did it the same way, but I will say I did it slightly different and better this way. So there's a spring-loaded belt tensioner in there, and I was trying to squeeze them with pliers, and the bottom piece is angled, and so it's hard to grab with pliers. So what I did instead this time is I took a flathead screwdriver and I put it over the tensioner to lever it down. Now be careful you don't want to break it, but that way it was much easier to get to loosen the tension enough to get the belt off and then back on, and then it actually wouldn't I had leveled it, but it's tricky. So I had clamps above and below each screw so they wouldn't move. That one won't move because it's connected to the motor. And then I leveled them, and they came out down this way, so it was level side to side. And you'll see in the video, if you look at that other video, how I did it. I had a digital protractor angle gauge that works great, and they're cheap. They're relatively cheap enough. I used that to check the angle on it, and so it was level side to side, but it was still sloped this way because it's tricky to hold these perfectly still when you're trying to get the belt on. So what I ended up doing is prying the tensioner down the same way I got the belt off and then back on, and then I was able to just slip the belt around a few notches on the pulley to get this back up to level, because as you can see there's 1, 2, 3 lead screws, so it's like a 3-legged stool, right? So that's how you get this straight. So it was like it was right this way, but it was right this way, but it wasn't right this way. And so just detensioning the belt allowed me to slide the belt around the pulley enough teeth, and it was actually a lot of teeth. I did like 4 pretty big movements before I got it just right. But I tell you what, it was dead nuts, as they say. Maybe like 0.1 like 0.1 degree off or something like that. So anyway, that was supposed to be a minute video. 4:44. There you go.